Well, thanks very much, Daniel, and it's great to be back here at Sunshine Station. The last time I was here, we were doing the regional rail link, the largest ever Commonwealth investment in rail before this one. Regional rail link opened up opportunities in Geelong, in Bendigo and in Ballarat. And what the airport rail link, together with Sunshine Station's upgrade, which is necessary for the airport rail link to occur, will make sure when connected up with the Melbourne Metro, connected up with regional rail services, will allow the electrification of the line to Melton. This is a critical piece of infrastructure, which is why we're making the announcement here today. Unlike the coalition who showed how out of touch they are on transport issues in Melbourne by having a press conference at a winery up tens of kilometres away, nowhere near the airport, nowhere near any rail station whatsoever, and they had a map out. And you'll recall that when one of the journalists travelling with the party asked where they were, it wasn't even on the map that was shown behind them. They are simply not up to delivering the infrastructure that Victorians need. Well, my government will do that. My government will partner with the Allan government to deliver for Victorians. That's what this $7 billion commitment is about. Because unless you fix Sunshine Rail, you can't do the airport rail link. It's a necessary precondition. Now, the last time the coalition came to office, we know that what they did was rip $30 billion out of education, $50 billion out of health, but they also ripped the guts out of infrastructure investment. They ripped the guts out of the Cross River Rail project, the most important project in Brisbane, and Melbourne Metro project, the most important project in Melbourne. $3 billion was in the budget for that project. We actually had a joint board with a Commonwealth representative on that board to get that project done. Melbourne Metro would today be opened, would have opened years ago had the Abbott government not ripped that funding out of that important project. As it is, the Andrews and then the Allan government have had to proceed with that 100% funded from Victoria. I hope to get an invite to the opening, even though our funding didn't proceed there. And it just says it all about the coalition who, during this campaign, have shown that they are just not fit for government. Today, we have the extraordinary position of Peter Dutton having defended his attack on working from home, is now pretending that that program won't proceed. He said very clearly that women should just go and job share, that they shouldn't worry about working full time. There were plenty of job sharing opportunities there in dismissing the opposition to this plan. But of course, work from home was one of the changes that we made to industrial relations, along with same job, same pay, along with proper definition of casualisation, along with the right to disconnect. All of these changes have been opposed by Peter Dutton. He's campaigned against them each and every day, and today he's pretending that the policies that he announced, including in the budget reply that was 2 weeks ago, including the cuts to 41,000 public servants, just don't exist. And everyone will just forget about all that. This is a new Peter Dutton who's discovered work rights. Well, if people want to protect their work rights, they need to vote Labor on May the 3rd, because it's only Labor that has a plan to look after working people. It's only Labor that will provide a tax cut for every taxpayer. It's only Labor that support real wage increases. It's only Labor that will put in a submission to the Fair Work Commission for the 4th consecutive increase in wages. We stand for working people. It's what we've been doing since 1891 and will continue to do so. Peter Dutton wants to undermine work rights and in particular doesn't understand modern families, doesn't understand the important role that women and men play in organising their families and organising appropriate work conditions wherever it is possible. We know that working from home can boost productivity. We know also it's an urban congestion issue, because if you take everyone who is currently working from home and put them in a car and put them on a road, you're going to have more congestion. It is a productivity decreasing policy that the coalition have had. And today he wants to pretend, after 3 years of not developing hardly any policies at all, that all he's got left now is the nuclear plan that'll cost $600 billion. Some of the savings from the public servant cuts have just disappeared as well, apparently. So therefore, there'll have to be even more deeper cuts. And here at Sunshine Station, we've got a $500 million cut that he's put forward. I'm happy to hand over to the Premier of Victoria, and then we're happy to take some questions.
Thanks, Prime Minister. Thank you, Prime Minister. It's wonderful to have you join us here at Sunshine Station. As we can see in here, a very big and busy part of our train network, and to be joined by our local members of Parliament, Daniel Molino and Natalie Suleiman. And I've mentioned Sunshine Station's a very big and busy part of our network, and it's only under Labor governments that it's only going to get even busier and more important with the delivery of airport rail. And what we've seen previously under Peter Dutton, when he last sat at the Cabinet table in Canberra, was that we saw here in Victoria 10 years of neglect. Funding taken off projects like the Metro Tunnel, projects ignored year after year from Peter Dutton when he sat at the Cabinet table. Well, under Anthony Albanese, not only do Victorians have a partner in the projects we want and need, we're getting on and delivering those much needed projects. Now, of course, I'll acknowledge that Victorians have waited a number of decades to see a train line delivered to the airport. Well, what Peter Dutton is saying to Victorians is that you'll be waiting decades more with his cuts here at Sunshine Station that will quite literally leave passengers stranded at the station. And let me explain why that's the case. Sunshine Station is the absolute heart of the airport rail project. You simply can't deliver a train line to the front door of the airport unless you untangle this very busy and complex part of our network. You also can't connect it in to the rest of the metropolitan network. Make sure that regional passengers on that regional rail link that the Prime Minister delivered for Victoria when he was Infrastructure Minister, you can't get passengers from Ballarat and Bendigo and Geelong connected into the airport project here through Sunshine. And we're doing this big and complex project. It's building new platforms, it's building bigger spaces for passengers, it's putting in new signalling, and also too, really importantly, it's laying new track. It's laying new track, and that track also represents the opportunity and the next step to electrify the next part of Melbourne's train network out through Melton. You simply can't deliver these city connections, these country connections, the connections out to the western suburbs without this transformation of Sunshine. It is such a vital part of our network today, but it'll even be bigger and more important into the future. And Victorians know, under Labor governments, federal Labor, state Labor, we will do it once and we will get it right. Peter Dutton's saying to Victorians that he wants to cut into the heart of the airport rail project and cut into the heart of rail services for city and country and the western suburbs. But of course, for us here in Victoria, as I said before, we have seen all of this before. We have seen all of this before, where year after year Victorians were dudded. Victorians didn't get our fair share. And Peter Dutton and his Liberal Party have announced again that they will do it all over again to Victorians given the chance. And that's where Victorians have a choice. A federal Prime Minister, a Prime Minister who knows where Melbourne is, who backs the projects Melbourne and Victoria needs, and most importantly, invests properly in these critically important projects, not cutting like Peter Dutton has already signalled he'll do, but investing and building for a bigger Melbourne, a bigger future here, not just for rail, but for everyone in our community who needs these vital connections to get to where they need to go And also too, just to finish up on the reference as the Prime Minister has to working people, cutting into this project is cutting thousands of jobs. That's cutting into the pay packets of those workers, cutting into the pay packets that go home week in, week out, to those families who need a government to continue to invest in their future with projects like this one here at Sunshine. So PM, it's great to have you back here in Melbourne today, but more importantly, it's great to have your backing for the projects Victorians need, Victorians want, and are a big part of Victoria's future.